Hi guys, welcome to Learn Electronics Repair. I have this to fix today, so a little bit of a story. This is from the local builders and renovation companies, you know, the one you've perhaps seen the stuff already, deals with all these mansions and villas belonging to millionaires, yeah. And this is a gate controller. I think you can see that from this, so we open and close, and the circuit board. Now originally he brought me this in. This is, yeah, that's swimming pool, okay, mount swimming pool or something, 33, 35 volts. And he says basically the remote control doesn't work to the gates. Can you have a look? But I didn't have the rest of it, so I put it on one side a bit, and it was kind of like on the to-do pile. I said, look, I'll have a look, see if anything obvious wrong with it. But when I had a look, I can't see any remote sensor on here that would actually pick up a remote control. I'm thinking, well, it must connect to one of these connectors. It must be external. This says that this is an automatic interrupter. That's like a circuit breaker is the best description, I would think. So this is a circuit breaker. It may be some sort of protection device. It has a relay in there. That no doubt is the breaker. Yeah, and it must be doing that on some sort of input. This connector I thought might go to the sensor for the remote, but when I asked the guy, he came in, he says, no, nothing connects to there. And then he tells me that the gates still open and close without this fitted. Okay, so this comes out of a cabinet, like a locked cabinet thing on the wall, yeah. And he says without this, the gates open and close. Because in the cabinet is also this thing. And this is the remote, okay. So he says that by pressing the buttons here, you can manually open and close the gate, even with this thing removed from the box, yeah. So whatever that's doing, it isn't part of this remote opening and closing, that's for sure. So he was showing me this on a photo. He basically gave me a photo of the cabinet, what's inside. I could see this. I couldn't see this at the time. And I said, okay, well, if that works manually, but it doesn't work with the remote, I suspect very much that this is what's sensing the remote. Yeah, we have minus, plus, and cough. Yeah, close, open, and whatever. I don't know, fail. I'm hoping this is what detects the remote. We can see, yeah, this is a receiver Y key category 3. So this is a receiver. So I'm assuming that's what actually picks up the remote. And this is the remote. And this is what's not working. So the remote doesn't actually do anything. I don't know if this is a remote that you actually... I don't think it's something you carry around in your pocket. I think this is something that goes like on the wall by the gate. You can see when I'm pressing the button, yeah, things like stop, lock. So I think this must go on the wall by the gate. This must go in the cabinet. And that's where this goes as well. And this is what actually controls the gate. So I'm pretty confident, at least I can say, the problem is the communication between this and this. Question is, how does it work and can I fix it? If this is some sort of Wi-Fi thing, I will confess I do not know much about this at all. Receiver of the Y key. Does that mean there's some sort of encryption going on between the two? I can see the supply voltage. It probably runs on 24. All this stuff seems to run on 24 volts. Okay. But because when you press the buttons, it does actually do something to the gate, I'm confident enough to say this does have power. Yeah. Let me just look this up and see if it tells me anything about it. Yeah. Well, I had a look to see what Manta Piscina is. I knew it was something with a pool. It says pool blanket. So this is not a gate like an entrance gate. This is like a sliding cover over the swimming pool. Yeah. knowing that, these icons make a bit more sense now. Yeah, it's clearly a swimming pool. How about that? You probably spotted that before me. So that's what it really is. Now then, how do these parts work? So this one first, let's look this one up. Well, there is a picture of one. €190 if you want to buy one. You can see that. Doesn't really tell me what this actually does. Okay, it's 24 volts, fair enough. So that's that thing. And there is a picture of one of these things. Okay. Yeah, we can see a bit more about it now. So hopefully we don't actually need to do anything with this. Let's have a look what's inside here. Okay. I'll have to remove the wires by the looks of it first. Just get a photo. I have the video so I know which wire goes where. Okay. Well, it's fairly clear to see. This is a Wi-Fi antenna, I'm sure. So we're going to have a Wi-Fi chip on here. Everything's covered in this conformal coating. I expected that, of course. We have two relays. So that will control the opening and closing. This looks like a little buck converter. Okay. So it takes the incoming voltage and drops it down to a voltage that this runs on. We just have two chips. I haven't looked at them yet, but I'm expecting one is going to be the Wi-Fi chip, if you like, and the other one the CPU, or we may have a CPU with Wi-Fi built in. So that's definitely the receiver. Let's see if this, I mean, it does say receiver. Let's see if it tells us anything, this Y key. Well, we can see they cost €256. That's the first thing we can see. Is there a manual or some sort of information? Well, we can see here at least how this connects up. Yeah. So this is this interrupter thing. I think this comes before the interrupter. And then, does this go out to the actual motor? I'm not sure. That can't be the case because they said without this connected it works, but no user manual. Okay, let's have a look at the chips on this thing, see if we can just gain a little bit more information. Clearly the first thing I need to do is to figure out which of the two items is faulty. Basically, is this not talking or is this not listening? And then right at this moment in time, I'm not totally sure how to do that. Let's see if this will help me any. Otherwise, I think I'll connect some power to this and at least check to see if this voltage regulator VRM thing is working. But I'm back to this thing. The buttons work, so this thing must be powered up. Otherwise, they wouldn't operate the pool cover. So there's one of the chips, the NRF, then C905 and 2150JB. And the other one, wow, I'm not sure I can even read that at all. It's a PIC, programmable IC, PIC 16. Okay, so that will be a programmed chip, so probably don't need to know much more about that. PIC is quite an old thing, so I can't see that having the Wi-Fi in it, so I'm thinking the other thing is the Wi-Fi. Let's see if we can get any more information on this. Okay, so NRF 905 single chip transceiver, so that's a transmitter and receiver, 433, 868, 915 megahertz. So at least we know what frequency this operates on. One of those, I'll bet it's 433. How do we test this? Well, I think we need a little bit of special test equipment. Unless you guys know a different way, but let me try. I also have a photo of how this all connects up. It's not the tidiest thing in the world. That little remote receiver is kind of tucked down there. Okay, we can see the interrupter now. These look like they're terminal blocks. Oh, open and close. Yeah. Abrir open and Tapar is closed, probably. I'd have thought Cerrado, but open and close. Okay, so we can see basically how it connects up. But hopefully don't really need that too much. So I'm going to use this tiny spectrum analyzer. I think this sort of repair is probably one of those cases where you really need to have the right sort of kit to easily figure out if it's the transmitter or the receiver. Okay. And without doing that, I don't really see any particular way you could approach this repair. Maybe a frequency counter, if it was sensitive enough and went to high enough frequencies, might tell you, at least if you have a transmission. Let's see if this helps. So I've attached the antenna. I'll switch this on. Hope it's charged up. It is. And we have a kind of like noise there. You can see it. You can see I've set the start frequency to 400 megahertz. Stop at 800. That's as high as it will go on this range anyway. Okay. Let's try this remote. Okay. Nothing particular seems to happen. Okay. I don't see any particular change. This is the key fob to the garage. So with our community dad as they call here, we have an underground parking. This is the entrance key to the shutter doors, and then everybody has their own parking space and their own storage room down there. Okay, so this is probably a similar sort of thing. I don't need to point it at anything, I just have to be near to the receiver. So let's try this. Oh yeah, and we clearly have a signal there. I'm guessing this is 400 and this is 800. I mean, I don't particularly know this piece of test equipment very well, but yeah, that clearly is transmitting something. Okay, again, so that is definitely transmitting, and this one is either outside of that range or it just isn't working. It certainly looks like the problem is in here, not transmitting. It could be transmitting on some frequency that this is not responding to. So if I open this up, we're probably able to figure out, depending on the data sheet from the transmitter chip, what frequency it should be on. Also, it's possible that although the green LED is lighting up, maybe the battery's too low to transmit. Yeah, that's another, well, easy, hopefully, to try. Okay, so what do we have? Well, not a lot by the looks of it. We have two batteries. Yeah, a little PCB. LRO3. These are AAA batteries. These just look big on the screen, yeah? So, let's see what voltage is in them, actually. 1.46. 1.46. Let's get a couple of new ones. Okay. What do these read? .6. 1.6, okay. What does it do now? Oh, okay, not quite so easy as that then. The batteries were a bit low though. Okay. Let's see what else is in here. Okay, there's one ribbon holding the PCB to the front. We can just lift this out. Okay, it's like a laptop type one, I think, where you probably flick this thing up or something like that to do it, or slide it forwards. Again, the whole connector is actually covered in this conformal coating, which is not making it easy to do, actually. Let's see what's on here. I'll just try and leave that in there for the moment. Well, we have the same chip, NRF 905. So this could actually be on any frequency. I'm not sure how that is set. I'm sure the datasheet will tell us. I don't think the problem is with this ribbon cable, because the LED is actually lighting up when you press a button, and I'm pretty sure this is sending the signal back there to do that. Okay, so I've now changed the frequency on this up to 1 gigahertz. I had to unlock it. It's the first time I've used it in that way. It's very simple. I'll actually give you a link if you're interested, but it really is very simple. So let's see if this is operating at one of the higher frequencies. And yes, it is. Did you see it there? Just press the button again. There. Okay, press another button. Yeah, you see it there. So this is actually operating at the 900 and something megahertz. Okay. So we can say in actual fact that the handset is good. Yep, there it is again. So now we know this is working, and we can see it's at the top end of the range. So this basically is showing us from 400 megahertz to 1 gigahertz. That's the scale across here, and this is the amplitude at that frequency. So that's what this is doing. It's a spectrum analyzer, okay? And you can see at the top when we get this spike, if you look here, it says 800 and something, 868, okay? So that's one of the frequencies this should work on, basically. Let's put the old batteries back in and let's see if it works now. Because I didn't have this set to the correct range when these batteries were in, so there's the original ones. What does it do? Well, from what I can see, it still works. Let me look at the amplitude. So that's going up to about minus 30. Put the new batteries back in. Oh, it's higher. Can you see that? It may be that the original batteries are working, but this is too far away to trigger the receiver. Yeah. Let me just see if the receiver does anything. So I have power. Okay, it's powered up. Then there are 3 other contacts on here. So I'm thinking these are probably switching something from the relay, but I'll be honest, I can't see how it connects. Having said that, these are surface mount relays, so it'll be on this side. Do I see any connection? Okay, let's see. So here to here. No, nothing. Here to here. Nothing. No. And I don't hear a relay click when I press this button. Can't hear anything. And the same when I press one of these buttons. Let's see if this switches in some way when I press the button. Doesn't seem to do anything. No. No. I've connected my multimeter black lead to the ground on the power supply. Some big capacitors here. This is probably where the power comes in. Let's see. Oh, this is the regulator 3.6. So this is generating a 3.6 volt supply. I guess I'll also see that on the coil. 2.1, interesting. Oh, this will be like an AC if you like, and I think that probably gives us the DC 3.6. I'm pretty sure that's what will be powering up these various chips. That's your 24 volts coming in. I think this PIC chip can go up to 5 volts. I think this one here is also up to 5. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, it's saying supply from 1.9 to 3.6, which is exactly what we have. So I'd say the power supply is just fine. Is there anything else we can check on this? Well, we have the crystal. But again, we know it's reading the buttons. The customer's told us that. I have no reason to disbelieve him. So that means we consider the processor must be running. Otherwise, it wouldn't react to the buttons. Okay. Nothing's going to be getting hot here because it's only drawing 10 milliamps. So how could it? I see a few transistors. We can look for shorts and such like, I guess. I don't see any harm in doing that, but otherwise. So we have something that looks like a transistor here. Could be a MOSFET. Could be diodes. That reads kind of like a Schottky diode. That doesn't read anything really. Other way. This is why you want sharp meter probes, by the way. That reads higher in that direction. It's quite possible that one is a Schottky diode. Single diode. It's not unusual. These are not marked Q or T or D or anything. Doesn't really help. Ah, these ones here, WW1. These are diodes. If that's what it says, I think it says, yeah, WW1. So these are like a dual diode, either common cathode, common anode, or in series. Let's have a look. Reads open. Reads open, go the other way. Diode, like a Schottky diode, yeah. It's like a Schottky diode. I think it's like BAV, something or other. Schottky diode. Schottky diode, is this the same? Yeah, they read like I would expect for that marking. What was this one again? Is it the same? No, this one is something different and it reads different. I'm confident that they're all okay. Another one here. Yeah, reads okay. Because I've found a problem which I can see a difference. So I can see with new batteries in here, I get a stronger signal going out. So I'm going to get the guy to try it to see whether or not it now works. It may well function. It's quite possible that it was just out of range because of the low batteries. If it doesn't function, then we can say this works. So the problem is going to be inside here. It's not going to be on this board because whatever this board does, the thing works without it, at least with the buttons. Yeah, we can see this also receives from here. So this is probably some sort of safety device, some sort of, well, it says interrupter, some maybe measures current or something like that, yeah. So I don't think that's to do with this either. Only option then really is to tell him to try. I think there's a good chance this one's going to work. Interested to know what you guys think. Yeah, it could be something as simple as that. And I'm just thinking, how could we do this on the cheap? Because this is quite an expensive piece of kit, especially this ultra version. Okay, you see it, tiny spectral analyzer. Okay. There are some cheap remote testers on AliExpress which say they are both infrared and RF. So I'll get one of those. They're about 20 euros or something. I can show you a picture of one now, yeah. One of those. So I'll order one. I'm interested to see. I can use my car key fob and things to test with how useful they are. And I guess you guys will be as well. Okay? So look forward to that, and I'll see you all soon on Learning Electronics Repair. Ciao for now, guys.